Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Retail Week. You are joining us here today at our Tech Powered by Retail Week conference in very trendy East London. It genuinely is trendy actually, I'm not just saying that, I felt cooler being here the last couple of days. We have been discussing and hearing from some of the pioneers in digital and e-commerce and in the retail sector and beyond really. We've heard from the likes of Zalando, Amazon, ShopDirect, ASOS, the list goes on. So I am joined by our features editor Gemma Goldfingal and our content director Jen Creevy. Thanks so much for being here, guys, as I am as well. To kick off, let's talk about some of the things that we've all noticed and seen that we found interesting over the last few days. There's certainly been more than enough to get our teeth into. Jen, let's kick off with you. What's something that you have found to be particularly thought-provoking over the last couple of days?
Yeah, well, as you say, Grace, there's been so much, but I think one thing has been really pertinent for me, which is the idea of discovery. So I think it was mentioned by quite a few people, but in particular by Facebook, particularly talking about the fact that products should go and find their customers now, not the other way around. And I think what's really interesting that he showed a chart which showed that customers just can't consume that much content anymore, and the amount of content produced is just going to keep going and keep going, but we just can't consume any more content.
No.
So he showed a couple of examples. He brought a pair of slippers on stage, which I thought was quite nice.
Made me want some slippers.
I know, absolutely, but £80 slippers, why would anyone want to buy those? But if they find their way to the right customer, people do want them. So I thought that was really interesting, and that was also brought up by quite a few of the retailers like ShopDirect, so it's something that they're looking at as well.
Yeah, that was a big focus for them. They were talking about actually using a combination of AI, machine learning, and then harnessing social media as well to both find the perfect way to talk to their shoppers, be it email or pushes online or a variety of different methods, but then also using social media and what John Rudo referred to as the digital exhaust of shoppers, their whole digital footprint, to identify who their core key high spending customers are, and then find other ones like them and sort of attract new shoppers as well. And I thought that was so interesting, that idea of using your high value shopper as a bit of a blueprint to find people who perhaps aren't shopping with you and perhaps haven't heard of Very at this point in time. He was quite honest about that they're a relatively new brand, and a really good way to find those high value customers is to create a bit of a blueprint with the people who are similar to them online, which I thought was fascinating.
It is, it's really interesting because there is so much out there for consumers now, isn't there?
Yeah,
you just have to cut through it, definitely.
Absolutely loads. I love that stat that Martin Harbeck of Facebook gave as well. He said people are scrolling through an average of a Big Ben-sized amount of content every day with their thumb, which makes my thumb feel sore just thinking about it.
Absolutely.
That's right. Gemma, what was something that you've seen over the last couple of days that's caught your eye?
Well, one of my favourite sessions was by Amazon.
Funny that.
Yeah. So we had their head of innovation speak, and obviously everybody is obsessed with Amazon.
Obviously.
But what I thought was really interesting was how Amazon, who obviously is one of the most innovative companies in the world, makes decisions. So they have one meeting, when it's any new initiative, there's one meeting, and the person who's putting forward that initiative has produced a 6-page document, very specific, 6 pages, and first 20-30 minutes of that meeting is spent just everybody in that room sitting and reading that document.
And it's the first time anyone's seen it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So you're presented that document at the beginning of the meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the meeting is just Q&A. You've all read the same document, you're all on the same page, and at the end of that hour-long meeting, the decision is made.
Yeah, that's great.
It's amazing. It's really...
I thought that was really interesting as well, because he was talking about that idea of people, a lot of the time, big companies wait to be 100% sure about something, and actually you're wasting your time and you're not being brave enough. And actually, if you're 60-70% sure something's going to work and it's a reversible decision, don't bet the company, as he says, but just have a crack.
Absolutely.
Which was something that was echoed by Zalando's head of product, actually, Mark Lamek. He said if you're going to wait until you're sure about something, your competitor's going to have built it 3 times over. That idea of moving quickly and not actually having to play it that safe, taking a risk, and then if it doesn't work, just rolling it back again. It's really smart. But
fail fast. People say fail fast all the time.
They
They
really
actually do it, don't they?
They
actually do it.
I think it's been a mantra across the conference.
Yeah,
fail fast.
It really has.
Amazon has definitely demonstrated
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
And I mean, it's obviously, with all that in mind, as you say, Amazon are the company to watch in a lot of ways. So it's no surprise that they featured pretty heavily at the top of our digital leaders list that came out this week as well. Gemma, you've played a pretty big part in putting that all together. Can you tell us what some of the top dogs were?
Yeah, you're very right. Amazon are dominating. No surprise to anybody there.
Hail to praise.
Yeah, so Jeff Bezos was number 1. Number 2, we had a UK contingent, so we had Nick Baton from ASOS. I think
Go on, Nick Baton.
everyone would say they've had a fantastic year. They've
Absolutely.
really putting their foot on the gas when it comes to innovation, everything from visual search to making returns easier and quicker for everybody. And then number 3, another Amazon entrant, so Doug Gurr, the UK boss. So they're very much dominating not just UK retail, but our digital leaders list as well.
No, absolutely. And obviously Doug Gurr's are really interesting as well, because with the recent Whole Foods acquisition, him with his background in grocery, he's going to have a lot to get his teeth into. So yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't feature pretty heavily in next year's list as well.
Indeed.
But let's not worry about that yet. We're winding up with the conference. So certainly a really interesting one. Thanks so much for your thoughts, guys. All really interesting. That's about all we've got time for here at Tech. We've got to run off and watch some more interesting stuff, I imagine. If you would like to read about anything that's happened over the 2-day conference, do interact with all of it on our website. We've done a lot of video interviews and news stories and some really good roundup pieces of what the key themes of the day have been. So there's a lot for you to get involved with, whether you were here at the conference or not. Do interact with all of us on Twitter as well. Our handle should be below. And yeah, come back next week where we're going to be back in our normal location discussing the big stories in retail over the next 7 days. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks.